here we are, Steve Trevino and Captain Evil. You look beautiful as always.
Thank you, sir.
Wearing,
do I have some side boob or something? Because
no, I'm just looking at. I don't know what's going on there. It's like a little tie thingy
Yeah,
thing. But
yeah.
Good. You look like an old prom queen. But homecoming queen. Golly, I don't even know where to begin. It's been
A crazy hell of a couple of days.
it's been a crazy year.
We should begin by thanking our sponsors. That's where we should begin.
Go for it.
Go for it, me.
Yep.
Thank you to our sponsors, Aztec Chevy. If you're gonna buy a car from Aztec Chevy in Beeville. They will help you find what you're looking for.
Well, I'm so excited because our neighbor, Joe Jackson, he ordered a Yukon from Aztec Chevrolet, and it just so happened that the exact Yukon that he was trying to order was already coming in. So,
oh, sweet.
Yep, and they're going to deliver it to Joe right in his driveway with paperwork. He doesn't even have to go into the dealership, which is the future. So,
awesome.
I'm not a guy that has to. I love my truck, and I've been driving my truck since 2015. I love my truck. I've done all kinds of cool stuff to it.
I ran it into a pole at a gas station, and you got it fixed. You loved it.
I love that truck. But we are getting to the point where I need a new vehicle.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and ordered a Yukon XL AT4 from Aztec Chevrolet, and I got to tell you, the process was so easy.
Yeah.
Right? I literally built it on the GM website, and then I shared the link with Jerry and the team at Aztec. And
did you get their approval? Because I don't know all the colors and the bells and whistles you picked out.
I showed you.
I hope it looks good when it gets here. I hope you got someone's approval.
It's that gunmetal. It's the gunmetal gray I showed you. Yeah. The metallic or whatever they call it. So it's a beautiful color. I'm excited because my truck has been paid off for a long time, and I guess we should be honest, but our CPA, Jose, was like, you need to spend some money, and you need to buy a new vehicle, and I don't have anything on my credit.
Yeah. Because
I pay everything off, and then I don't have credit cards. I've just never been that guy. And in order to have good credit, we should talk about that one time on the podcast.
About the crazy mess that is credit?
Yeah, and how credit works. And I've learned a lot as to the crazy part is if you get a credit line and then you pay that credit line off very quickly, that's actually negative on your credit.
Yeah.
Which drives me it's so stupid and it's such bullshit. I should be labeled as somebody very responsible.
Right.
Right? Had a 5-year loan, paid it off in 2.5. That should be a positive mark.
Yeah.
No. In order to have amazing credit, Rick, did you know this? You need like 5 different lines of credit that you pay on monthly. That takes you to 800. Did you know that, Rick?
I did. Yeah. Sucks, but yeah.
It's so dumb. It's the opposite of being responsible.
Yeah. And then you got to keep track of all of them. So you just got to put them on automatic pay.
But the point of what, I don't know how we got distracted.
I don't know.
But the point is that if you are, Austin South, you can buy a car from Aztec Chevrolet and they will take care of you.
Yeah.
And they will deliver it. And they will make it very, very easy for you to get the vehicle that you want. I know on the lot right now they have a 2500 Denali GMC 2022 that just got on the lot. It's crazy.
Is that a truck?
It's a truck.
Yeah.
I post it on Facebook, and then like a day later, it is gone.
Sold.
Vehicles are moving. So
yeah.
Aztec Chevrolet, of course, our friends at Pick Cherries. We love Stu and all the team at Pick Cherries.
It allows you to share podcasts like never before. You can listen to it ad-free.
Download the app, ad-free, and you're helping us out more than we can tell you. Also, Old Salt Coffee, veteran owned and operated. Please buy your coffee from our friends at Old Salt.
We actually need more. We're running out of ours. I know.
Of what? Coffee?
Yeah, because we have a cabinet full of it, and I just pull it down and fill up the pretty jar, refill the pretty jar as we need it, and our stash is running low, so we need to stock up again.
It is running low. So we need a little bit more of the Old Salt coffee. I'm trying to think. Where we need to catch back. I mean, it has been.
Where you've been? Well,
It's been a whirlwind, and if I'm being honest,
I was like, let me look at the calendar actually to remember like what cities you've been in. Legit.
Well,
like,
let me be honest really quickly because I've had a terrible morning, and I'll tell you why. I will be honest. We have to be honest on this podcast. I'm
Here we go.
I was like, did you, Rick? I'm glad you said it out loud because I was like, I didn't know we were going to do this.
I'm very, very frustrated because I wanted to go to theaters so that I could spend more time at home.
Yeah.
And the goal was to go to these theaters, then I can work more people. I can do more, and I can perform in front of more people one day as opposed to Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yes.
And the goal was
Ideally,
was let's eliminate Thursday. I don't have to leave my family till Friday. I do Friday. I do Saturday. I'm home Sunday.
Yeah.
I can live with that.
Yeah.
It's a great schedule. However, I told the team, I said, guys, I can't do 1,500 seaters. I need bigger theaters. We need, every market that we had been going to in the comedy clubs, we were selling anywhere between 2,500 and 4,000 tickets.
Yeah.
And the numbers are there. My team sees those numbers, and I go, guys, well, Steve, slow down, and we don't want to not sell out. Let's just do these 1,500 seaters. Well, not only are we selling out, now we're adding shows, and we could have added more shows, but now we can't because we have now literally run out of days. So now when I was supposed to be working Friday and Saturday because of this theater move, not only am I working Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the crazy part is I am now flying all over the country because we're having to make things work.
Yeah.
Like for example, last week was Dallas. Last week we did, what do we do? Odessa, Dallas, and Amarillo.
Yes.
That's what we did last week.
Yeah.
Well, Dallas sold out so fast, and Amarillo was already booked on that Saturday, and Odessa was already booked on that Thursday. So, and then we couldn't do 2 shows in one night. So now I'm doing Dallas again on a Thursday when I was only supposed to work. It's just been a mess, and I've been so frustrated about it because, it's breaking my heart, because Garrett is missing me. I'm missing him. My daughter's missing me. I'm missing her. And I'm like, guys, I told you.
Yeah.
I told you this would happen. I knew it would happen. And now I'm actually, now with this theater tour, I'm actually working more.
Yeah.
Instead of less. And I'm going crazy.
Well, and to play devil's advocate, I agree with your sentiments. And then when you started talking about Garrett and Delilah missing you, my eyes got all watery and emotional because I'm experiencing the weight of that at home. But to play devil's advocate, when you make the jump from comedy clubs to a theater, there's a lot of factors we didn't anticipate. Like if we're talking numbers and cents, theaters have way more expenses than a comedy club does. And, everyone was kind of, I guess, trying to play it safe, but in markets where we knew you sold more tickets, it's I don't know. I'm sorry. I apologize.
I mean, Ontario is one of my favorite places in California. I love those people. And that show is a month away, already completely sold out. We're already adding shows. So now in Ontario, where I knew we could do a theater, we are now going to I'm going to end up doing 9 shows. When I could have done 1 in a 5,000 seater and been done if my team had believed in me.
Well,
I said, guys, I know what I'm talking about. So now I'm in Ontario. Like this week, for example, Oh my gosh, I literally drove in from the airport right now. Today's Wednesday. I flew out to to Orlando to do a private gig last night. I got home today, and then tomorrow I'm driving to Dallas, doing Dallas. Then I'm flying to Bakersfield, which, by the way, thank you, Bakersfield. We could have added another show in Bakersfield, but because we don't have any more days, we didn't, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm doing Bakersfield on Friday, and then I'm flying across the country to Atlantic City to do 2 shows. Again.
Except that it's brutal. There's not even a flight. You're not even telling the whole story. There's not a flight because Bakersfield is a small airport. To get you to the closest to the Borgata in Atlantic City is going to be Philly. Is the closest, fastest we can get you there.
Friday night after my show in Bakersfield, I have to drive to LAX, spend the night at LAX to catch a flight from LAX. Doesn't even get me into Atlantic City. I have to fly into Philadelphia to rent a car there to drive to the Borgata to do 2 shows.
To physically be at your show in time.
And then to turn around, and then I have to fly back out of Philly. It's insane.
And I hate to say it because obviously we want you as much as we can get you, but I also know that the week is going to be so brutal. I almost want to tell you, stay a day and sleep in a dark hotel room with curtains where it's quiet.
I miss my family too much. I miss my kids too much. I miss my wife too much. And I hate that this podcast opened like this because I am feeling a little spoiled. I'm feeling a little selfish. I'm just feeling very unappreciative right now. Not appreciated. I feel like I'm being unappreciative. I'm very appreciative for the love and the support and the work, and I feel so very lucky to have all of this work. And I know that there's people like my dad, who woke up every day to work in the elements, to be a pipe fitter and a welder, hard work, I
know that seems like the message you're sending out right now, but anyone who comes to see one of your live shows knows that at the end of the show, you dedicate it to the working man and woman because people work hard to buy a ticket to come see that show.
And I also think that sometimes I remember there's I'm a huge Kid Rock fan. I love Kid Rock, and I've had the pleasure and the opportunity to have met him and partied with him, and he's everything that you think he is. He's amazing. But he had a line in there where he goes, I forget what song it is, but he goes, I wish I had a job on some assembly line. And then he goes, and I bet you wish you had mine.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I just love that line because, I think what we all need to realize is that with everything, there is good things and bad things.
Pros and cons.
And I remember men would come and hit my dad up, and they would sit him down, and they would say, hey, Joe, we really think that you should start your own company. You know everybody, and you hire and fire everybody for us, and you're pretty much running a company, and they would tell him hey, Mr. Trevino, you can make a lot of money if you own your own company.
Yeah.
And I would listen to these conversations, and then that somebody would leave, and I remember telling my dad, I go, Dad, why don't you do that? They say you can make a lot of money, and my dad goes, son, I want to clock out. I don't want to think about work once I clock out.
Yeah.
I want to know how much money I make every single week. I don't want to deal with payroll. I don't want to deal with a million different personalities. I want my weekends off so that I can enjoy. I'm a very happy man being this.
Yeah.
And there's something very admirable about that, what Dad said. And for me, man, I just want to be a comedian. I want to tell jokes. I want to make people laugh. I want to make people's days. I want people to be happy. That's all I want. And unfortunately, with that comes a million different things.
Yeah.
Which has been something that I was not expecting, that I did not know that getting to these theaters would lead to all the stress, and all the craziness that comes with it,
Yeah.
Rick, do you sometimes feel that way?
Hang on, I hear someone calling me.
all the time. But I will say this about, like, your problems are your problems, just like my problems are my problems. And, when my dad worked the assembly lines or whatever, those are his problems. They're all real problems. It's not like it's less stress because you work, in the elements or something.
Yeah, I mean, but did you, you wanted to do production, you wanted to do what you do, direct, produce, create. Did you expect everything that came with it, or did it surprise you like it has surprised me?
It surprises you and you're never content. Never, ever content.
Is that part of the independent spirit of the entrepreneur that makes you never content? Or do you think that there are self-employed entrepreneurs that are content?
That's a solid question I'm still trying to figure out. Like, I think that you're never happy once you hit that plateau because it's not what you thought.
Well, I mean, I will say that I am happy when I'm on stage. I will say that.
But that could be on stage for 5 people or for 1,500.
That's what I mean. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, I love being on stage.
Yeah.
And I love being trying to be a good stand-up. And I love, hopefully, making people leave inspired.
Yeah.
I do like to inspire as well, right? I like to. I'm a teacher by nature, right?
Yeah.
I'm a coach by nature. So I love being on stage, and I'm very content with the love and the feeling of, when people come to me with a big smile and they go, "Oh my gosh, we had such a good time."
Yeah.
That's
a hard part of the theater tour too. And I know we've talked about it on a lot of episodes that there's no meet and greet anymore, because the interaction after the show, those conversations, is also what makes you feel happy and content.
Well, and I think that there is something to, this podcast has kind of gone to happiness, right? That's kind of the topic of this podcast. But, it is the idea that, is the grass greener on the other side?
Well, we all know it's not necessarily, right?
But that's what I love about
your perspective.
That's what I love about my stand-up, right? Because
Yeah.
I think sometimes in our relationship, we go, "God, would I be happier with a different woman? Would I be happier
with someone who wasn't a Captain Evil?"
Yeah, well, but we're learning that they all are, right? That's why we have become so successful. They are all Captain Evils. But you know what I mean? And because of my stand-up, I think it makes you look and go, you know what? It's the same.
Yeah.
Right? I love my wife, right? Oh, this will be a good one here.
Oh.
Well,
No, I was going to say, I don't know if you can take this call.
I don't think we've ever had Larry Baker, GP Wildcat Extraordinaire, on the podcast. How you doing, buddy?
Oh my goodness. Are we live?
Yes, you are.
We are live, but I will call you back, my friend.
I'm sorry. I usually text and ask you if it's a good time to talk, but anyway, you give me a call back.
Yes, sir.
He's like, call me back when it's a good time, but not when I'm live.
No, but I think that honestly is why the stand-up resonates, because people come to me and they say, "Oh my gosh, I don't feel alone.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I do go through the same things that you go through."
Oh, you mean that crazy shit we were going through is totally normal and comical
and funny? Yeah, and we can laugh at ourselves. But I think we all live life, and we all struggle the same struggles, and we all try, to be the best that we can, right?
Yeah.
And that's what's sad. I think that there is a huge group of humans that go, man, I got to get better, and I got to do better. But I also think there's a lot of humans in this world that just go, I don't want to be better.
Oh,
I could care less if I'm better. I
don't think people legit say, I don't want to be, like, who
I don't
looks in
think
the mirror and says, I don't want to be better?
Well, I don't think that they outward say that. I just think they don't make any effort to be better. And that could come with...
From being stuck.
Defeat.
From feeling,
Defeat.
like feeling from the odds are against you. Sure, for lots of reasons.
It's like, people who are... my heart really goes out to the people who are, and just this is one alley, but my heart really goes out to those people who are really overweight, right? That must feel so defeating.
Yeah.
That must feel like, I am way overweight, but I'm not huge. However, I struggle with my weight.
Yeah.
And I work hard to lose this weight, and I'm still not losing it. And, I'm doing 2-a-days, hour workouts in the morning and jujitsu. So I'm doing 2-a-days now, trying to really step up my game, trying to really work harder. And it's frustrating because you get on the scale and you go, oh my gosh, like, is it working? Am I getting there? And then you're tired, and then you got hurt the other day.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And it's like, well, now I'm hurt. So, I really look at that person who's just huge, and I can't imagine the defeat that they must feel.
Yeah, it's like, well, you talk about like we all bring baggage to the table and working through our emotional baggage. Like here, you're legit physically carrying.
And that must be the same feeling with the people that are living check to check, right? That want to buy a house and can't, and they just can't get that job going, and they just can't. Their car's always breaking down because they can't afford a nice car to get to work, and then they finally get ahead, and all of a sudden, well, guess what? You need 4 new tires.
Yeah.
And you need an oil change. And, like the game of life, you pull the card and they go,
That's such a shitty game, by the way.
Your kid needs braces. And it's like, oh my gosh, am I ever going to get that house?
Who sits down and says, I want to play life for fun?
Right? Well, we're all playing fucking life. We don't have a choice.
That's different.
But even the people that go, okay, I want to buy a house this year. And then every year you look and the house prices keep going up. And then, well, I screwed up my credit 5 years ago and I can't catch a break on that credit because I screwed it up 5 years ago. Now I got to wait 2 more years to get it taken off. And well, I can't afford somebody to help me do that. So I can understand the feeling of the constant, like, oh my gosh, but I always say 1%. Can you be 1% better?
Yeah.
Every day, just one little percent. 0.05%, they say, is enough to greatly separate you from the average person.
Where have you heard this little factoid? I've never heard this
That
before.
Is a famous philosopher.
Uh-huh.
And maybe Rick has time to figure out who said that. And the reason 0.05% makes you so much greater than the average person, because if the average person is working at 50% a year, right? And then that 1 year you only went up 0.05%. Well, now you're at 50.05.
Yeah, and then my super analytical Captain Evil brain is like, well, how do you quantify that 0.05%?
Well, over 10
what
years,
does that mean?
Over 10 years, that 0.05% has separated you from 50% to now, 55%.
Compounding math, I got it.
Right? You just keep getting better, and you just keep getting further away from that average person.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's how I live my life, right? Can I get 1% better every day, every hour, every week, every month, every year?
Only I could get 0.05% skinnier every day.
But that's what we're working on, right? We're trying to continue to work out and continue to try to get that.
Yeah, but then I buy pull and peel Twizzlers and eat half a bag by myself.
Oh my gosh, dude, you're the worst. I'm one of those guys that if I see ice cream in the fridge, I make a mental note and I go, okay, well, we got ice cream in the fridge. Or Renae will come home with ice cream and I'm like, okay, well, it's Monday. Renae came home with ice cream. You know what? I'll just keep that in the back of my mind. And then Sunday comes and I'm watching football and I'm like, you know what? Let me go get a scoop of that ice cream. And then I go in there and it's fucking gone. I never saw you eat it.
Okay, that's not true. But then I buy the healthy stuff. I bought that Halo Top, that like low carb, whatever, low sugar ice cream. And that's just been in the freezer for decades.
Oh my gosh, dude. You bought a tub from Sam's Club of the salted chocolate caramels. And they're about an inch in diameter all the way around. And the tub is this big. And I would go in the pantry. I'm like, okay, let me get one. Right, I'll eat one, and then I'm like, okay, well, in a couple of days I'll have another one, and then like 3 days later, fucking gone.
Not 3 days. It took me more than 3 days to work
Gone.
our way through the big jug. I love how I said our way, to work my way through
And I'm
the
like,
big
hey,
jug.
where are the salted caramels? There's no way you ate them. And Renee's like, oh yeah, they're gone. I ate them.
I just had to get them out of the house. And I haven't bought them since. I'm not buying any.
So you're going to
more
punish
jug.
me? I get punished because I'm able to have one every 2 days.
I can't have it in the house.
You know, they sell those containers that have like a code and they fucking lock.
Okay.
And you can't open them for 24 hours.
Okay, I'll buy you one for your birthday filled with salted
That's
caramel.
what I'm going to get for my birthday? Wow. I'm looking forward to it. But no, it's I don't know where this podcast is going. But, you know, we did have a wonderful time in Odessa.
That's like a new theater. You'd played, was it the Ector again?
The Ector, yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's Ector. Is that how you say it?
I think so. The Ector Theater. Oh,
Uh-huh.
Dad's been texting too, and I feel so bad too because, like, I haven't even been able to like touch base with family lately. I mean, it's been crazy. Well, I have like 4 phone calls to make after this.
I talked to them yesterday. They're coming this weekend.
Jeez Louise. Okay. What are we talking about? Oh, the Ector Theater. So drove into Odessa, and we had an amazing time. Sold out show, and I always love when you know, and that's another thing that cracks me up is everybody's so stressed out about, you know, did you get the advance? And you know, they need Timmy there at 3:00, and load in is at 3:00, and I'm like, I'm not a band. There is no load in. Well, are you gonna do sound check? Are you sure? And then we're like, well, no, we don't need to do sound check. Are you sure? Are you sure? Can you send some? And I'm like, guys, stop stressing out about sound check. We're comedians. And then me and Timmy and Dave, we get there, say hi to everybody, and you can literally feel everybody go, oh. And we tell guys we're easy.
Yeah.
It's not hard. But then they come up to me and they go, oh my gosh, you're so easy. And we were so scared and we were so worried.
Well, I'm like, what do they encounter that they're so stressed out?
That's what I'm trying to get to. Is like, what the fuck are they
Happens
dealing with
on a weekly basis?
that they are so worried that everything has to be perfect. And then they meet me, and then I shake all of their hands. I walk in, I shake everybody's hand, and they're all like, you know, the Dallas guys were so amazing. We ended up having, well, you know, Dallas, we had Liam, and we had agents, and we had managers, and we had friends. And I mean, it was just kind of the green room was a party, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, they always give me a runner. Like, there's always like somebody sitting there, you know, at my beck and call for me to ask them to go do anything. And I always just tip them and go, easiest night of your life. Like, I always give them $50 and I go, you're not going to have to do anything today. And then you see them go, really? And I'm like, yeah, you don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
We're good. And then they'll come in and be like, Mr. Trevino, do you need me to do anything? And I'm like, I told you that you are good.
Yeah.
Well, in this particular case, Eric came and Rick came and Liam came. Everybody came. So Eric wanted tequila.
Yeah.
Jake wanted Jack Daniels. So we went up to the runner. We're like, hey, do you mind going to grab this for us? And she was like, oh my God, I'll go get it right now, blah, blah. She was happy to do something, you know?
Yeah.
So then I tip her, and then the whole staff, I ended up giving them money. And then they were like, number one, artists don't even talk to us. Number one.
Yeah.
Number two, the fact that you gave us money to buy, because they were all going to have drinks after. They were all talking about, oh, we're all going to go have a beer.
Yeah.
And I gave them money. I go, beer's on me. And they were like, oh my God, not only do talent not talk to us, they don't give us money.
Yeah.
And again, like I go through like, what nightmare must they go through that they're so on edge and so scared and so nervous when we get there? And then for them to come up to us and go, and there's times like that show where I felt like it was overwhelming.
With all the people in the green room and everything?
Where I felt like, man, I'm being a bit much.
Yeah.
Right. I'm being a little too much. You know, so that's another reason I tip, because I felt like I was being too much.
Yeah.
Right. But then they come up to me and they go, oh my God, what a great weekend and what a great night. And, you and your team are so easy and blah, blah. So, that's another thing that stresses me out is that they're stressed. I'm not stressed. My team is not stressed. We're not worried about it.
But then when they're stressed, you're like bracing yourself for impact because you don't know what you're going to write.
Well, they're all, do you need this? And do you need that? And I need this. And are you sure? And is Mr. Trevino happy? And can Timmy come in and make sure that the green room is exactly the way he likes it? And it's like, guys, I'm good.
Yeah.
Don't stress out. You stressed out about me is making me stressed out.
Yeah.
I am not stressed out.
Yeah.
But it was such a fun night in Dallas. The Majestic Theater. Oh my gosh. That place is beautiful. I had a moment when I walked on stage and it took my breath away.
Yeah.
I walked on stage and I didn't think it was going to happen, but it did. And I walked on stage and I was like I had a moment of like, wow. And I'll tell you why. So I'm working the Addison Improv a million years ago.
Yeah.
I get to meet a guy named George Lopez, okay? George Lopez, when I met him, was not selling out the entire weekend. He was doing well at the clubs.
Yeah.
He was doing well. I think I would probably say that he almost sold out Thursday and then sold out the weekends and then almost sold out Sunday.
Yeah.
So he was doing very well.
Yeah.
Met George Lopez, I don't know, a year and a half later, he gets the George Lopez show. And he just blows up because the promos are now running, right? And all this press and his face is everywhere. And the George Lopez show, the George Lopez show, the George Lopez show. He comes back into town to do the Majestic to Dallas. Yeah. I'm still the door guy. So I reach out to him and I say, oh my God, I have his number. I go, oh my God, congratulations. I would just love to see the show.
Yeah.
So he says, come on out, your name will be on the list.
Yeah.
I'm like, great. Then he goes, if there's an issue, call me. I'm like, great. Little old me, no money. I go to the theater, I get to the box office, there is no ticket.
Yeah.
And I'm telling the lady, like, oh no, Mr. Lopez, I have his number, And then I text him. I'm like, hey, George, no ticket, no response. Hey, George, don't know what to do. No response, right?
Yeah.
And I show the lady, I go, this is his number. Like, look at the text, And she goes, she says, you know what? She says, I'm going to let you in. She says, I'm going to put you at the very top. I have one ticket up there. She says, you'll sit up there. She says, you're not going to be a problem, are you? And I said, no, ma'am. I said, I just want to see the show, right? Yeah. So I get up there and I sit and I watch this show and I remember the feeling of, how do you get there? Here I am, a door guy, and going, how do you get to a point that you sell out the Majestic Theater?
Yeah.
And George goes on stage, and the crowd goes crazy, and I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Wow.
Like, I just remember, I remember the seat I was in. I remember sitting there. I remember taking it all in. I remember watching George Lopez. I remember very clearly going, how do you do this?
Wow, baby. Now you're there 2 shows and you're on the stage, not in the back row.
Exactly. And so all that was going through my mind when we were booking this Majestic Theater.
Yeah.
Right. And then all of a sudden it sells out and I'm like, oh my gosh. Right. So all that was going through my mind. And then I walk on stage, the crowd goes crazy. And I really had to take a breath. And I kind of look in that left corner where I sat and just like, and by the way, which was even more beautiful is Allie. I put Allie on the show.
Which Allie?
The opening act.
Oh, yeah?
Right?
Uh-huh.
I found her, just like me, waiting tables at the Addison Improv, and I gave her a chance at the Addison Improv to go on stage, and I thought to myself, not only am I going to give her tickets to see me, I am going to put her on stage.
Yeah.
So we put her on stage.
How'd she do?
She did amazing, and she's such a funny, great girl, and so sweet and so appreciative, and I just wanted to give her that.
Yeah.
And just to be clear, in this conversation, I'm not upset with George, especially now.
Oh yeah.
Now
no, I
that,
didn't think that at all. Yeah.
Now that I know all that he must have been going through
and
how nuts it was, and how many people were in the green room, and how many people must have texted him or whatever.
Yeah.
I still got in. I still got to watch the show, right? And I still got the feeling of, I want to do that.
Yeah.
You know, little did I know I'd be bitching about it, going, oh, if we would have just done a 5,000 seater and not the Majestic, you know. But it was a really cool experience, and it was really great that Rick showed up, and
I'm bummed I missed it.
I was laughing because Rick walks in the room and he's with my manager and he's with a big time agent from UTA, and they walk in the room and I'm like, Rick, what's with the red polo shirt? Rick, what's with the slacks? And he's like, dude, I showed up in shorts and a t-shirt. And
Leah made him change.
Yeah, Leah made reservations at freaking Morton's Steakhouse, and they have a dress code.
Let him in.
So he had to go to Walmart to buy clothes. Showed up.
Did he change back into his shorts and his shirt in your green room?
No, you can ask him. He's on the phone. And he's so scared right now that I'm going to bring up something else, but I'm not. But he also might have jumped because he did have to jump. But
I'm not jumped. I'm turning red.
well, you're turning the color of your polo. But it was just so great to have Rick there and Jake there, and you know, we the energy was good. We had a wonderful time. Corey showed up and Megan. Really missed Nick Rolliston. I got to reach out to him. I don't know why Nick didn't show up. Said he was going to show up.
Yeah.
But it was a wonderful night. And then from there, I had to haul ass to Amarillo and do my show in Amarillo. And then we get to Amarillo, and there's this place called the Texan. Have you heard of this?
No. What is it?
Rick,
have
you heard of the Texan?
No.
Dude, it's a famous Amarillo truck stop.
It's not a restaurant. It's a truck stop.
It's a restaurant, but it's like a truck stop. It's like
a restaurant that serves gas?
It is like a kitschy Cracker Barrel. There's like a store on one side.
Okay.
They have like statues outside. They have a limo with like dummies in it. Like it's you walk in and there's freaking animal heads everywhere, and it's just a crazy.
Like if Duck Dynasty made a Buc-ee's.
It kind of. It is so hard to explain. It is like nothing you've ever seen before. All the waiters are wearing cowboy hats and cowboy shirts, right? But then
so it's a theme restaurant, or no?
is.
They just legit dress that way.
It is like a theme restaurant for Texas, but it's packed. Like everybody just goes there.
So the food is good.
It's not terrible. The rolls. Garrett came with me. Garrett goes, best rolls I've ever had in my life.
The bread, into the carbs.
The bread was freaking delicious.
And that says a lot coming from a kid who takes his bread off of every hot dog and hamburger he eats.
The bread was delicious.
Yeah.
But if you don't know about this place, you walk in and there's a stage, but there's a dining table on that stage, and it's a 6 top, and then there's 6 clocks that go across the top.
What are they filming? Are they doing a podcast there?
You have 1 hour to finish a 72-ounce steak and sides. And if you finish it, you get it for free.
How big are these sides that go with this steak?
72 ounces.
How big is a 72-ounce steak? Like, I don't even know how, like physically, how much space does it take up on the table?
Okay, by the way, and I have no reason not to believe him. Joe Jackson, same guy buying the Yukon, our neighbor, he said when he was playing ball for Baylor,
he did it.
He did it. He finished it.
Okay, but show me, because I don't even I have no idea. How big is a 72-ounce steak?
Well, remember, the tomahawk that me and you split is like 38 ounces, 40 ounces. And that's like that.
So that's half.
That's like half. So 72 is like that. Right? We get there, and this huge man
is on
stage just smashing it. And then they have a camera. You can YouTube it right now. You can literally YouTube. They're live right now.
Finish watching this episode, and then they are live right now.
Right now.
They're live?
It's live right now.
In case anyone decides
Anybody that wants to go watch it, live stream. Dude, it is the craziest thing. Like, hey, get up there and show everybody how filthy you are, right? Go be a glutton in front of everybody. So this dude's up there by himself. Just by himself.
Having a steak that realistically probably, 4 or 5 people could split?
Yeah. Huge steak. And on the, here it is. Hold on. Is this it? On their what? No, this is the Texan. Talk.
What did Garrett think?
Oh, Garrett just kept asking questions. He was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And how big is 72 ounces? And like, he really wanted to know. Here it is, the live stream. Somebody's there right now.
Okay, what are the sides? That's what I want to know.
What's today? Oh, that's August 7th.
Though that's a long time ago, baby. Today's September 14th.
Yes.
Although when you're watching this, it will be the 16th.
3 days ago. 3 days ago. 3 days ago. 5 days ago. Look at this, dude. That's what it looks like, the outside.
Okay.
It looks crazy.
Looks gas station vibe.
Yes. It is. Rick has to bounce, but
yes.
It was insane. But we had to go. Like, Dave had never been there.
Uh-huh.
I have been there. Dave and
you had been there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dave and Timmy had never been there. I have Garrett with me. I thought, you know what? Garrett needs to see that. It's a really cool place.
Yeah.
The guy did not. He ended up with a to-go bag. However, the stats are that look, it's insane. How many people have finished the 72-ounce challenge in Amarillo? To date, over 9,900 people out of about 69,000 people have attempted the challenge have accomplished this feat, according to the restaurant when featured on TV show Man vs. Food.
All right, Google. Steve already read it.
Yes.
We need to hear from you too.
But there was a woman who weighed 120 pounds who ate 2 of them.
No, she did not.
Ate 2 of them.
Oh, can
Who
you
holds the
imagine the
record?
stomach pain
Here
she
you
must
go.
have had?
Molly, a 128-pound housewife, holds the current record. Ate 2 of the 72-ounce steak challenges when she first came to Amarillo. When she was invited back in 2015, she broke her record by eating 3 of the 72-ounce steak meals in 20 minutes.
Oh my God.
How is that
humanly,
possible?
physically possible? That's insane. 3 in 20 minutes?
Bobby Lee says the oldest person to ever eat the 72-ounce challenge was 64 years old, a grandmother. We're finding that women can really handle these 72 ounces. The youngest person was an 11-year-old boy, and he even wanted dessert after all was said and done. Wow.
That sounds painful.
How much
It's got to
does
be
it cost?
something about like the way their body does or doesn't break down food or something. Like that's got to be like an enzyme thing.
That's crazy. I don't know how people do it. It's insane, but really cool place. You have to see it when you go to Amarillo.
Yeah.
And you have to, and Google it. You can watch people eat live. Like it's, it is the weirdest thing.
Yeah, but that's the thing now too, is hearing people like chew on their foods and all the sound it makes and everything. That's a whole weird thing.
No.
on
You don't
YouTube
hear any
too.
sound, but they just, they
Inhaling their food.
They just have them on there. But Amarillo was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And just, and Amarillo is one of those places, we had done Odessa, we had done Dallas, of course. But Amarillo was one of those places where, we got a lot of requests from Amarillo.
Yeah.
And we had not done it. So it was one of those places that I had told the team, I'm like, guys, let's do Amarillo. Right.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be an amazing turnout.
Yeah.
I also didn't realize, so I leave Amarillo that night, and it was like, 56 degrees. Like, it was kind of cool.
They're having cool weather.
Well, I told the guy that, it's what's up? It's cold here. And he goes, dude, we are not that far from Colorado. I was like, what? He
They
was like,
have seasons.
He goes, we're only 6,000 feet below Denver.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. You don't think about it because
Yeah.
Texas is so big. What is the evolution? The evolution. Hold on. Let me try that again. What is the elevation of Amarillo, Texas? 3,671 feet. So just to give you an idea, Albuquerque, New Mexico, who we think is high,
Yeah.
is only 5,000 square feet, right? Isn't that crazy? So 3668, right? What is the elevation of Denver? So Denver's 5,000.
Yeah.
So they're only 2,000 feet away from Denver, but you don't think about it because when you think Amarillo, well, you think Texas.
Texas.
But they are way up in the panhandle,
Yeah.
right? So they are, let's just look at this real
Everyone's learning their Texas geography today.
No, but I for me too, right? Like I found it really interesting how cold it was, and I'm like, man, it's cold. But then you go, oh crap! I mean, look, Colorado Springs is right there,
Yeah.
right? What is the distance between Colorado Springs and Amarillo, Texas?
Google coming in clutch this episode, Steve Trevino.
It's a 5-hour drive to Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Anyway, but we had a wonderful time.
Garrett
Amarillo.
got to go on his own with you. That was special.
That was the first. Yeah, that was the first time that Garrett came on his own with his daddy on a road trip
Without Mama.
And we just had to because he's been missing me. I've been missing him. And then Garrett sings that song while I was away, and man, it just breaks my heart. So those of you that travel for a living, again, I've said it before on this podcast. Pat Green, While I Was Away.
Oh, even the music video is beautiful.
Beautiful song.
Yeah.
Well, I think we got through this podcast.
Yeah.
We were very concerned that we weren't. I have to apologize. I've had a really, really emotional, rough day, and for that I apologize. But we are here for you guys, and we hope that you enjoyed our podcast. We definitely love reading the comments. And it was interesting because we did hear some comments that were like, ooh, we love when you bring other couples on the podcast. But then we had a couple that were like, we could do without the other couples. You guys are better by yourselves.
Yeah.
So can't make everybody happy. All we can do is do our best.
It's just nice to mix it up sometimes.
I am Steve, and that is beautiful Captain Evil. I love you. You look beautiful.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.